enough of working on idli. Now it's time to start working on Jupyter Notebook. So to do that, we have to install Jupyter Notebook. So for the installation of Jupyter Notebook, let's get into the Jupyter Notebook documentation. So let me get into the Google search engine and type Jupyter Notebook. So this is Jupyter Notebook. This is a jupyter.org, and here just scroll down. Try in your browser install Jupyter. Say here you can see that install the notebook, and if you just scroll down, they are also having the pip. So you can use the pip, the Python package manager. We can install Jupyter Lab, but we don't want Jupyter Lab for now. What we are worried about is to install Jupyter Notebooks. To see that, Jupyter Notebook. So for that, you have to take the pip install notebook, and to run the notebook, this is what you have to use. But that's okay. That we'll see later. But for now, we have to copy this. Let me copy this, and again, let me come to the Windows PowerShell, run as an administrator, click S, clear the screen, paste it. Not to worry much. So pip install notebook and click enter. So requirements already satisfied. The Jupyter notebook has been installed successfully. You can see that. So I have a Jupyter notebook. It's been installed. For you, just execute it. It will take a few seconds and it will be installed if your internet is too fast. Okay. Once the installation is done, so then it's pretty simple. Let me clear the screen here first. And the second thing to be done here, you see that to run the notebook, what you have to do is you just copy this and paste it here and click enter, and it should launch a Jupyter notebook. Here it is. That's the magic. A Jupyter notebook runs on the browser in your local host machine and at 8889 port. And this is what the folder it has kept open. That's it. That's how we use a Jupyter notebook, and in the next we will also see how to handle the Jupyter notebook. So this is by default. If you open it in Windows PowerShell, so it will open it in a specific location where the PowerShell by default opens. So what I will do is I'll close this one and I will get into the documentation of the Jupyter notebook. So this is completely Jupyter project documentation. So let's keep it here. If you want to learn more about the Jupyter notebook, just click on get started with Jupyter notebook, and here you can go through it. Okay, try the classic notebook interface. This is notebook dashboard. This is how it looks. And then this is the notebook editor. So this is notebook dashboard, first section. As soon as we open, whatever we have seen is called as a dashboard. And then after that, once you open anything, we call it once you open a Python file .py, then it will become a notebook editor, and then inside that we can see a lot of things. Okay, we will look into that, but let me get into my directory. So come here and get into this, and I'm like mlverse pandas for you, and here I'm gonna open hands-on. Okay, so let me click here, and now I want to open my Jupyter notebook in a particular directory. How would you do that? How can you do that? I'll show you. So just click on shift and then mouse, or if you're not using mouse, that's fine. You can use the laptop touchpad, buttons. If you use a mouse, it's no issue. So just click on shift and then right button on the mouse. Okay, then your option will be popped up in that window. You can just click on open PowerShell window here, so at this location. Okay, so this is using mouse. Okay, shift plus right button on your mouse. That's it. Now the windows at this location, it's been opened. So let me clear the screen and just say Jupyter notebook and enter. And here is your Jupyter notebook. This is Jupyter notebook dashboard, and this dashboard consists of what all files are open exactly in this directory. There are no files at this moment, so that's the reason, nothing, completely empty. And then how many terminals are running, how many notebooks are running, everything it will show. It's called a dashboard. And then clusters, what all clusters are running, Python clusters. At this moment there is nothing. So that is the Jupyter dashboard. Now just come here. You can clearly see a new button. Click on this drop down icon and then click on Python 3 IPy kernel. You can, if you want, you can click on text file. You can click on new folder, terminal also. But let me click on this IPython notebook. This is IPython. It's a Jupyter. It's IPython. It was renamed. Okay. So now this is called a, just a minute. Yeah. It's called notebook editor. See, this is dashboard and this is editor, and here you can clearly see that this is our notebook editor. So before you begin, I'll show you how to start. So let me click on help, and here in that help you just click on user interface tour so that you can get a clear understanding about the Jupyter, and then you can do your hands-on your Jupyter. So let me click on user Jupyter, use interface tour for my Jupyter editor. This is my Jupyter editor. So let me click on tour for Jupyter. So welcome to the notebook tour. You can use the left and see here. Use left and right arrow keys to go backwards and forwards. That's it. So I'll click on right, the first one. Here you see, so this is where the file name lies. Let me go to my directory and you should see the file. Here it is. .ipython notebook checkpoints and then untitled. It hasn't been named. It's a Jupyter source file. The file type is Jupyter source file and it's untitled because it's not been named. And here, click here to change the file name for this notebook. So let me change the name. So I'll say first Jupy file. Okay, and let me rename it. So now let me go here and show you. Here is that first Jupy file. It's a Jupyter source file. It's not directly .py file. It's a Jupyter source file. Okay, then let me go to the next step. That's about the file name. Then after that, this is called menu bar. As usual, you know that it's a menu bar. This menu bar has menus for action. So it consists of an items in the menu bar. So it has a menus. Each has a menu again. Menus for actions on the notebook. Uh, notebook and its cells and the kernel, and it communicates with, and the kernels it communicates it with. So you see that it's a file, and then edit and view, and here about the cell and about the kernel. So then we have the notebook toolbar. So this is menu bar and this is the toolbar. This is toolbar. So the toolbar has buttons. These are all buttons. That's why it's called tool. It's here. The toolbar consists of the tools directly. So the toolbar has buttons for the most common actions. Hover your mouse over each button for more information. Just click on here. This button is for the save and checkpoint. The plus button is to insert cell below, and the scissor icon is for to cut selected cells. This is to copy, and this is to paste cells below, and then move cells upward, downward, and run the respective cell. Run the select cell and run the cell and select the below cell. And here is to interrupt the kernel and then restart the kernel with dialog. And this one is to restart the kernel, then rerun the whole notebook. Remember, just restart the kernel and then rerun the whole notebook with the dialog. So okay, and here you have a code. Either you want to tap the code on the cell, or you want the markdown cell, or a raw NB convert cell, or just an heading cell. Whatever you want, you can go with it. That's okay. For that also we have. Okay. Now, and after that, on the rightmost, you have the mode indicator. The notebook has two modes. One is edit mode at this moment, and then other one is command mode. So here at this moment it's in edit mode, so now it's in command mode. So if it shows a pen icon, a pencil icon, it's a it's an edit mode. You see that it's an edit mode. When I click on escape, it will be converted into the command mode. You can just hover your mouse here and you would see the command mode. So this is called the command mode because here we can give the commands and we can do a lot of actions. Whereas once you enter inside that, it will be converted into the edit mode. Only the actions can be done inside the cell. Inside the cell. That's what. Okay. So now let me click here. Let's continue this. Okay. Yeah. So this is a command mode displayed in the indicator area. So then we have this is edit mode. Pressing enter, as I told you, pressing enter or clicking in the input text area of the cell switches to the edit mode. So then we have so notice that the border around, the most important aspect, the border around the currently active cell changed color. So let me click on here. You see that it's blue color. When it is in command mode, when I click on here, it will become a green color. It's an active cell. Okay. Then so when it just click on escape, so that it will get back to the command mode and it will become a blue color. And now we'll see how to use the help. So that's what and then you have the kernel indicator here. You can see that this is called the kernel indicator. So this is the kernel indicator. It looks like this when the kernel is idle, when the kernel is idle, and then kernel, it will looks like this when kernel is busy. You see that when it's running. If you're running some code, yeah, and it's done. Now it's idle. But when it is doing some operation, it would be busy. Okay. And let me get to the user interface tool one more time. Command mode, and yeah, kernel indicator. When it is busy, it's done. Then you have the interrupting the kernel here to cancel a computation in progress. You can just click here and interrupting the kernel. So the notification, you can see messages in response to user action, save, interruption, interrupt, etc. appear there at this location when you're working on. Then if you want to see keyboard shortcuts, you can just click here to get a list of all of the keyboard shortcuts. Let me click here, and here is that. You see that lot of keyboard shortcuts, you can see that, and which is widely used from all perspective. Okay, that's it. This user interface tour is more than enough. Oh, and let me refresh it so that I can get rid of those things, and let me convert this into markdown. That's it. No more error. Okay, so let me click on escape. It has become command mode. So now get into the help one more time. Now click on the keyboard shortcuts. So you don't need to remember each keyboard shortcut, or else you don't need to by heart the keyboard shortcut also. So what all keyboard shortcuts that I widely used from the Jupyter notebook, I will let you know. I'll tell you. You can do the same thing while you're practicing a Jupyter notebook heavily. You will automatically get it. You don't need to worry much about that. Okay, you can use F, find and replace, and after that, I widely use enter edit mode. You just click enter in the respective cell, so it will take you to the edit mode for that respective cell. Then we have a shift enter. So in this alt enter I widely used. I will I run a cell, and after that I want to insert a new cell. In that case, what I'll do, I'll just click alt enter. So it's gonna run the present cell, and then it will create a new cell, and then shift enter, run the cell and select below. It's not going to enter into the new cell, it will just select below cell whatever is there. And if you do the control enter, so run or run the selected cell. Just if you want to run a selected cell without inserting a cell below or selecting a cell below, so you can just do the control enter. That's also useful, but I do this widely. That's okay. And if you want to change cell to the code, it's Y. If you want to change cell to the markdown M, I use it widely. That M I use it M and Y. The changing from M to Y, I do it frequently. Then change cell to Ra, it's R. And these are widely used. Again, 1 to 6 for the markdown. 1 to 6 for the markdown. So then up and down, select cell above up and down, or else you can use your arrow marks, up and down arrow marks. It's pretty simple. And few more things. This is also widely used, A, B, X, C. So A, insert cell above, B, insert cell below, and click on enter to enter inside that. And X, to cut selected cells, whatever cell you have selected, to cut that selected cell we use X, and then copy selected cell we use C. And shift V, paste cells above, paste cells below. To paste cells below, simple V, but if you want to paste cells above, we have to use shift V. And Z, as usual, undo cell deletion. Undo cell deletion. That's as usual, it's a Z is normal. And control S, save and checkpoint. Just S, save and checkpoint. And toggle line numbers, and I is to interrupt the kernel. That's it. These are all in command mode only. These are all applicable when command mode. So once you click onto the cell, enter into the cell in edit mode. So by pressing enter, you will enter into the cell, and the edit mode will be enabled to the respective cell. In that case, the above commands won't be useful. They will be disabled. So you can use tab for the code completion indentation, and shift plus tab tooltip. I use this tab widely. And then you have control closing square bracket for indent. And if you want to dedent, control, if you want to do dedent, control and then open square bracket. Then control Z, undo. Control forward slash is for the comment. Control D to delete old line. Control U, undo selection. These are also widely used. And remaining things is not much used. If you wanna do that, you just explore it and use it. So let's have some of demonstration of those things. So let me say name is the variable, and let me connect a value to that. I would say Charan, and what I'm gonna do is I'll just say control enter, control plus enter. That's it. Okay, that's in a markdown stage. So go let me click on up arrow, and let me click on escape, and then I'll say y, just y. That's it. It's been converted into the code from the markdown to the code. So now let me click on enter. So it is converted into the edit mode. Now what I'll do is I'll click on control plus enter, control plus enter. That will be executed. Or simply, if you want to do, or else you can just click on shift plus enter, and so this one has been executed and you have came down. So now this time what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print name. So again I will say it's in edit mode. I'll click on escape. I will come to the command mode, and then here I'm gonna say control enter, and that's it. It's been printed. So now it's in blue color. Obviously it's a command mode. Now to move over, so just click on arrow button, up arrow button to go up, and down arrow button to come down, up arrow button to go up, down arrow button to come down. Now what I want to do is I want to create a new cell. I want to create a new cell. How can I do that? I want to insert a new cell. Just click on A, so that will insert a new cell above the existing cell, above present cell. Okay, so then click enter, and then type age 25. So again this time I'm gonna say shift plus enter, so it is going to execute this and then create a one more. So let me one more cell. It has executed that, and it has selected the bottom cell. Okay, that's what the shift plus enter will do. Okay, so then let me click on shift plus enter one more time, and here is that new cell has been created. New cell has been created. So this time I'm going to say print age. Okay, and let me click on shift enter, so that shift plus enter, so that it's going to execute this, as well as it's going to create a new cell. Here is that a new cell has been created. So now I'm going to write an heading here. Okay, uh, let's say that Jupyter notebook. So to make it, either you can directly change it to the markdown here, or you can use a shortcut. Escape, then say M. That's it. It's been converted into the markdown. Now, at what level of markdown you want? Heading 1 to 6 we have. So let me click on just 1. It became a heading Jupyter Notebook 1. So with the heading 1, so let me shift to enter. So now this time I'll say Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and again markdown. Let me click on markdown, and this time it's 2, and I'll change it to 3, I'll change it to 4, I'll change it to 5, I'll change it to 6, and I'll get back to the 2, and control plus enter. So this is how it works, and this is how we navigate across, and this is how we convert from markdown to code, and code to the markdown, and just use up arrow, down arrow to just move around, and just use AB to create a cell above and cell below. And if you want to run all cells at a time together, you can do that too. For that, you have to use just a minute, I'm going to show you. we'll look into the shortcuts and we'll do it. Okay, go to the cell, split, and more, scroll, shift space to this is what very important shortcut I forgot to tell you. Scroll shift, use shift and space to scroll notebook up, and just space to scroll notebook down. This is very important. We'll do that. Okay, now to run all cells, you just click here from the beginning here, just existing cell, and restart the kernel, and rerun the whole notebook with del. So let me do that. So continue running or restart and run all cells. This is what you do. The kernel will be restarted and all cells will be done. So let me create okay, enter and control C and control C. Okay, and let me go up. I'll make it 3. Sorry, yeah, 2. This one is 3, 2, and this one I'll make it 4. This one I'll make it 5, and I'll paste it same, and this one I'll make it 6, and that's it. Sorry. Okay, so let me click on D. Yeah. Okay, so now just to scroll up and scroll down, if you want to scroll up, just click shift plus space. That's it. If you want to scroll down, space. If you want to scroll up, shift plus space. If you want to scroll down, space. That's it. And as usual, it's very simple. If you want to copy something, just C, C, and then paste here. That's it. Paste here. That's it. Paste here, paste here, paste here. That's it. If you want to cut something, let me cut this one and come here and paste here. Simple. And execute here. Okay, clear? So that's how that's how we navigate across the Jupyter notebook, and then that's how we work upon Python in Jupyter notebook. It's pretty simple. The shortcuts to be remembered is and to be remembered and recollected is very less. You don't need to worry much about that from here. So command mode, edit mode, and then markdown, and then code YM, then markdown 1 to 6, then AB for up down, AB to create a cell above and below, and arrow marks up down to move across, and space and shift space just to scroll up down, and then a few more things. That's it. That's all about Jupyter notebook.